Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to another Bangs audio review. Let's see, what do we have today? We have the SR5 from Soundrhyme today. This was sort of a surprise. That's why the title is the way it is. I thought that was clever, but anyway, it wasn't planned, but what happened was I've been, eyeing it. I had it on like a wish list or a saved list or whatever, and saw the sucker go on sale. It was like $50 off. It's like 50 or not 50, 33% off, and I was like, boom, done. So for $101, the SR5 became mine and arrived here about 10 days ago. And I've just been really like getting to know this set, really enjoying it, just really being pretty surprised by how good it is. And yeah, it's going to make a list. There's going to be a different list in addition to my normal list, like top 10 2025 releases, top 10 2025 values, and I'm also going to do my favorite purchases of 2025 regardless of release date. And so I think that'll be a fun list to put out there too, because I've got at least 4 or 5 on there that I can think of off the top of my head that I got a just crazy good deal on and ended up being really good sets. So that'll be something to look forward to towards the end of November, beginning of December, when we all do our top whatever lists. In the background, you may hear a little bit of noise. That's because my buddy is back here. He's off school today, being that it's Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples Day for everyone. So that means no school. So he's hanging out with me here in the basement, and we're just chilling out. It's kind of a rainy October day in Western New York, so not much to do outside today. He's putting up with this for half hour or so. Well, let's see. The SR5, we'll do unboxing specs, but I'm going to have to turn off the lights in a minute because I want to show you exactly how that photo activated substance that's in the faceplates works again, which is it's just icing on the cake, because it's already a pretty cool set. I'm going to move the box because I know it's shining at you. Just kind of icing on the cake for a really good set anyway. But it is got really cool. It prompted me to pick up this flashlight, which is both a normal like high lumen flashlight and also there's SOS and also the UV flashlight. So we'll show you that. It's a pretty cool thing. I had all this information up on the screen, but here it is right on the back of the box. So yes, Soundrhyme SR5, sensitivity 108 decibels. This one on Headfile lists it at 110 for some reason. This says resistance of 26 ohms. They list it as 16. I've also seen 16110 in other places. So, but for me, I kind of go with what's on the box because it is a Penon audio set, and I'm thinking that their specs are probably going to be pretty accurate. So let's go with that. 26108. There's no problem driving these at all. As far as our configuration goes, while we do the little unboxing here, it is a single DD. It's a polymer nano composition 10mm dynamic driver and 2 Knowles balanced armatures. These are well established BAs. The ED29689 for mids, and then the Knowles 31736 for highs. These have been used in dozens and dozens of sets over the past few years, so nothing new there. I just think they got more out of them than other sets have, or other companies have managed to get out of them, but we'll get into that. So yeah, another nice Soundrhyme box, another nice accessories box, just very similar to the SPO one. And the cable, again, nothing to sneeze at here. You can order it in 3.5 or 4.4. It's a very nice cable, not way nicer, but nicer than most standard cables for, like, say, sub $200 sets. So there's no problem there. Order your termination of choice. You're certainly going to be fine if you order a 3.5, and so far as drivability goes, no issues there. A couple sets of ear tips here, a couple of foams, some of their standard green stem, dark gray silicones. I did actually use them for some of the testing, and yeah, not bad, not bad. I always go with my favorites, though. You guys know that by now. Same polishing cloth, dust cloth there, and brush. So nothing new, but nice, nice accessories. You know, like nice accessories. I enjoy them. I like having like little things like that included in sets, especially sets that normally retail for $150. As I'm kind of rushing through this, it's because I want to get to the case, and the case is metal, like all metal. It is machined aluminum, from what I can tell, although it's heavy. I think if it were steel, it would be even heavier. But this is a no joke case. It's just like, ow, knuckles. Yeah, so really super, like a case that you would think would come with like much more expensive IEMs, you know, things in like the $400 to $500 to $600 range. No, well, they included it with the SR5. I love this case. I love it. No, I'm not going to jam it in my pocket, but it certainly is going to travel really well. So no complaints there. The cable you see on here, which I'll temporarily remove for our little science experiment, is the CVJ XR2E3 Mermaid 2 cable, which is a very nice cable, modular, black, and I decided to use for, I don't know, just for the heck of it. Didn't need to, just decided to for fun. It wasn't getting any action, so to speak, so we ended up using that a little bit. Wake up, computer. Come on, you're not supposed to go to sleep yet. Alright. On the shells are like high-grade 3D printed resin, and then you've got the faceplates. These are super comfortable to wear, too. I will mention one thing, which I think is important to note, especially for like my buddy or people like Hazy. Pressure buildup's going to be an issue for some people. I didn't get like too uncomfortable with it. I did notice it after like, you know, a full album that I had to adjust them a little bit to relieve a little bit of that pressure, but nothing like the Butterfly 61T, nothing even like the Jazeera Defiant. These they have a little bit of buildup, but to me it's well worth it, and if you're not sensitive to it, then you don't have a thing to worry about. Not one thing. But yeah, overall very comfortable. No physical fatigue from the shell design. They're not overly large. Nozzle's not overly deep, but deep enough so you can get a nice comfortable seal with them. You can see I've got this was the other thing. As far as tips go, like I did Divinous Velvet for a while, but then I was like, kind of felt like I was missing a little bit of bass on them. And boy, am I glad that I put the final Type E, because wow, it really, really made a difference. It just really kind of gave it that extra bit of like thickness and impact. That's just sets the whole thing on fire, in my opinion. Like it's a fire set for sure, for sure. Speaking of fire, let's see if we can get this thing to light up for us. Turn off the light here, get a little more dramatic effect. Alright, here we go. So you can see that, I hope you can see that. Hopefully I've got it in the camera. And then you take it away and it does stay lit for a little bit. Like it's still glowing. The other shell, so you can see how that photo activates. Willemite, I believe, is the substance that is this reactive to UV light. It is non-reactive or deactivated by full spectrum light. So eventually this will just go completely dark again. But a nice, and well, that's pretty cool glowing blue there. I don't know why that's glowing blue, but it is. Just a neat little thing. Whoa, wow, okay. All right, off. That's going off. Just wanted to show you that. It's really fun. Before I turn the lights back on, they're still glowing a little bit, which is pretty cool. So, anyway, nice build, nice little added sort of fun feature, and comfortable. And there you go. So outside of just a tiny little bit of pressure buildup, I think everything is in line insofar as build, comfort, fit goes. Certainly the accessories are nice, nice enough for sure for the price point, no doubt. And yeah, that's where we are. I mean, again, I love it when I don't have to make excuses or try to justify something not having this or not having that before I get into, the meat and potatoes, before I get into the Sonics. So this has everything that you want, I think, in a $150 set. No complaints whatsoever. Still teasing the FIO QX13. Sorry, guys, that's probably not going to happen until after surgery. Yeah, I thought I was going to squeeze in 3. It's not going to happen. My kiddo's birthday is this week. We had his party yesterday. It was awesome. Getting prepped for surgery. Just, there's kind of a lot to do before I'm not able to do anything. So that cut into my review time a little bit. I apologize. We'll get to the ZGAT Crescent probably right out of the gate as soon as I get myself squared away enough to start doing reviews again. So that's where we're at. The second to last review coming this weekend, Friday or Saturday, will be the Punch Audio Martillo. And that is a promise. That will be done before surgery, which is 1 week from today. All right, so moving on. Before I get too far into this, I also wanted to give a shout out to Mehul once again for working some magic. I sent him a picture of the SR71 Blackbird, the spy plane, the renowned spy plane from the 70s and 80s that had a max altitude of about 85,000 feet. U.S. built Lockheed spy plane, reconnaissance. Could outrun surface-to-air missiles, flew higher than any other known aircraft at the time outside of the space shuttle. Just a really, really cool plane. And I just wanted to tip my hat to that because even though this is not like the SR7 but it's the SR, so I decided to tip my hat to the SR-71 spy plane, and you could see a picture of that in Mehul's wonderful freaking thumbnail imagery that he came up with for this set. So thanks again to him. He's been great. Have you guys been loving these thumbnails? I think they're freaking fantastic. I keep telling him he should start a side hustle with it because somebody would, if they could. I can't, but if they could, somebody would pay him for doing that stuff. So let's give him some props. Thanks, buddy. Thank you for doing this for the channel. It's amazing. All right, enough screwing around. Let's get to the graph and the sonic impressions. I posted the graph in the community section. As you can see, it is extraordinarily well balanced, from sub bass to mid bass to mids, to the ear gain being I thought, I'm glad I listened to him first because I never would have guessed that this was happening. They seemed more energetic. Maybe it's the beginning of it up to 1K that gives it a little boost. But this is one of the nicest, coolest, smoothest releases I've ever seen into the treble of any set whatsoever. And you might be looking at this scoop out here between 4 and 7K. No, there's no weird distance. All it does is expand the soundstage. It doesn't make anything sound buried or muted or distant or anything like that. It's just hard to describe. But that is my job, so I'm going to do my best to describe it. The treble is excellent. The treble is bright enough, but not fatiguing. If you were to compare this to, say, something that was bright enough to be fatiguing, meaning like the Tangzu Fudu or Dufu Verse 2, different animal. Even though it has almost as much energy, it's just done in a different way. It's tuned in a different way, so you get all the detail, you get all of the stage, you get all of that energy, a little bit of sparkle, all of those things that you are looking for. No metallic edge, no hissy, sizzy, fizzy stuff going on with the BAs up top. Just clear, concise, and very natural sounding treble. I think this is a really good set for people who like clear treble. Okay, it, I don't think it's too much. I really don't. I feel like it's right in line. Like the sub bass, you can see the sub bass is like steady Eddie right here. This is 90 decibels on the SPL. This is about 93. Yep. So there's a little bit more brightness to it than there is bass and sub bass, but I don't know. The set just seemed so well balanced to me overall that I would not have guessed there was any different. I would have thought that this was maybe more level, and I think that that's probably because they kind of like mellowed out the ear gain a little bit and just decided to extend the treble further, without like having a super steep like upgrade or you know what I'm saying, upswing of that. It really benefits from the relaxed ear gain because the rest of the treble is maintains good energy right all the way through up to about 16K. It's nice, guys. It's really nice. So, I've heard good things about it. I've heard some people swear by it. I haven't heard too much on the negative. Actually, I haven't really heard anything on the negative. I think it's another under the radar set. It was released in 2024. It's easy for sets to get lost, especially if they don't get hyped by every single, well-known reviewer out there. I'm not sure how many reviewers got their hands on this, but I couldn't find a lot. I'm happy that I found it. I'm happy that I was drawn in by that, by the shells, and that I looked at the graph and it didn't it was a little weird to me before I ended up getting them in my ears. But it ended up being just so good. These are excellent. They're all rounders. Okay, they don't really have a weakness in my opinion. I think that all but the most stoic bass heads, like all but the most intense bass heads that cannot like just settle for anything less than massive bass, are gonna love this set. I think even some quasi bass heads like myself, there's enough bass there. The quality is super good, very well detailed. Good, like I said, good weight, good decay, good impact, just good detail. Like I think I said that, but really satisfying bass. The set this reminds me the most of is probably the Canera Hodor. I think that's the one that I was kind of like feeling the most with it when I was listening to it. I think the Hodor's got a little bit more intense ear gain, pin gain area, but similarly tuned throughout. And the Hodor is like a $280 set or $300 set most days. Although it's old now, so you can get it probably on sale for like, I got mine for $180. You can probably find it for that. But this for $100 is a freaking steal, because at $150 it's an excellent buy. But I just waited for an Ali sale, saved up a few coins, not even that many. It was on sale, got a coupon, bang, it was 101 shipped. I can't say enough about it for that price. It's just so good. So it's in my opinion, this is like, it's kind of a poor man's audiophile like mid-fi set, right? Like this is everything I would expect if I spent $500 or $600 on a set. Like, is it as good as the Shock? No. But is it as good as like say the Campfire Audio Supermoon? Yeah, I know it's a planar. Yes, in my opinion, I think it hits right in that. As far as quality goes, it's a different tuning, but as far as overall sound quality, clarity, imaging, soundstage, micro details, all of those things that you're kind of looking for, it hits really, really well. Again, it's got a fairly immersive soundstage, not massive, but I feel like it's damn good for the price. So yeah, it hits everything right for me. It definitely gets a highly recommended. I think you gotta have some patience. I'm sure it's gonna be like during the 11/11 sales, being that it's still around, it's over a year old. You're probably gonna have an opportunity to get it for around the same price that I got it. Again, only warning is that tiny bit of pressure buildup. If you're sensitive to that, just be aware. But everything else to me was pretty much perfect for the price point. It ranks up there, and it's going to rank up there in my favorite purchases. It's not a 2025 release, obviously, so I can't put it in those lists. But it will make that one list. May not be my favoriteest purchase of 2025, but it's up there. This is a really, really good set, folks. So if you had been thinking about this, if you had been eyeing it, if you had been wondering about it, I can tell you with the utmost confidence that you can go ahead and pull the trigger now. Great balance, great all arounder, great accessories, great case. Really, I can't think of anything to complain about. So that's it, guys. That's it for today. We got one more to go before I'm off for a few weeks. The Punch Audio Martillo will be up Friday or Saturday. And I guess for now, be careful, be safe, be nice. Love y'all. Nothing but peace to you. See you in a few days.